Have you ever had one of those days where you know you can speak English, you know the words are in your brain somewhere, but when you open your mouth, it's like your mind just goes quiet or messy at the same time? You start a sentence and suddenly you're not sure if it's right. You hear yourself speaking and you think, that sounds weird. And then you try to fix it in the middle, and then now everything is slower and more stressful. And after the conversation, you replay it in your head like a movie you didn't even want to watch. If that's you, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not bad at English. You are tired. And I don't just mean physically tired, although sometimes it's absolutely that. I mean mentally tired, emotionally tired, the kind of tired that makes everything feel harder, including speaking. Because speaking is not just vocabulary and grammar. Speaking is energy. Speaking is attention. Speaking is confidence. Speaking is being willing to be a little imperfect in public. And when you're tired, your brain stops being generous. It stops taking risks. It stops doing that smooth, automatic thing where you just say what you mean. Instead, it starts scanning for danger. Is this correct? Are they judging me? What if I sound stupid? What if I can't find the word? And that scanning takes energy too, so you get even more tired. It becomes a loop. I've seen so many adults do this to themselves. They have solid English. They can read emails, watch shows, understand meetings, even joke with friends sometimes. But then they have a week where work is heavy or life is stressful or they're sleeping badly and suddenly they feel like their English got worse overnight. It didn't. You didn't lose your English. You lost your mental space. And then honestly, that happens to native speakers too. Have you noticed that? Even in your own language, when you're exhausted, you can't think of simple words. You forget names. You say things in a clumsy way. You start a story and then you lose the point. That's not intelligence. That's not ability. That's capacity. And capacity changes day to day. So if you've been thinking, why am I still like this? Why do I freeze? Why can't I just speak normally? I want to offer a different question. What if you're not failing? What if you're carrying too much right now? What if your brain is doing its best with the energy it has? A lot of adult learners have this extra pressure that makes the tiredness even heavier. They don't just want to communicate, they want to sound competent. They want to sound professional. They want to sound like themselves. And that's a beautiful goal, but it can turn into perfectionism really fast. And perfectionism is exhausting. It makes speaking feel like a test you have to pass every time you open your mouth. And when you treat every conversation like a performance, your body reacts like it's in danger. Your chest gets tight, your throat gets dry, your thoughts race, and you speak faster or slower than you want to. Then you judge yourself for that too. It's so much. If you're listening right now and you like this calm, supportive way of improving your English, you can subscribe to the channel. No pressure at all. I just know some people need this kind of voice in their week, like a little reset. And if that's you, I'd love to have you back. Now, let's talk about what tired English looks like, because once you can recognize it, you can stop taking it personally. Tired English often shows up as overthinking. You translate word by word. You search for the perfect word even though a simple word would work. You restart sentences. You apologize too much. You get stuck on small mistakes. You hear your accent more. You become hyper aware of how you sound. And the biggest sign is that you stop trusting yourself. You stop trusting that your listener will understand you. You stop trusting that you can fix it if you make a mistake. You stop trusting that you're allowed to be a normal human being who sometimes says things imperfectly. Let me paint a few situations you might recognize. You're at work and someone asks you a simple question, something like, "Can you send me that file?" And you know exactly what they mean. But your brain starts building a sentence like it's constructing a building. "Yes, I can send it to you in the next minutes." Wait, should it be in a few minutes or in a couple of minutes? Is couple exactly two? And then you feel silly because the answer could have been, "Sure, I'll send it in 5 minutes." Or even, "Yep, 1 sec." But because you were tired and tense, your brain tried to be perfect instead of clear. Or you're traveling and you're ordering food and the person behind the counter is waiting and there's noise and you feel rushed. Suddenly, you can't remember a word you've known for years. You start pointing. You start saying this one, that one, and afterward you think, "What is wrong with me?" Nothing is wrong with you. You were under pressure. Your brain switched from language mode to survival mode. Or you're in a friendly conversation, maybe with coworkers after a meeting, and they're chatting casually. This is supposed to be the easy part, but it can feel even harder because it's fast and relaxed, and you don't have time to plan. And when you're tired, small talk feels like running. Your brain is like, "I don't have energy for this pace." You smile, you nod, you laugh, you catch some of it, and you say less than you want to. Then you go home and you think, "I'm so boring in English." But you're not boring. You're protecting your energy. You're doing what your body does when it's drained. Here's a truth I really want you to take in. Fluency is not just skill. Fluency is also state. Your state matters. Sleep matters. Stress matters. The way you talk to yourself matters. If you're carrying anxiety, if you're carrying pressure, if you're carrying a belief that you must not make mistakes, then your English will feel smaller. Not because it is smaller, but because your brain is holding it tightly. So what do we do with this? How do you speak when you're tired, when you're blocked, when you're overthinking? First, I want you to lower the bar in a loving way. Not lower your goals forever, just lower the bar for today, for this conversation. When you're tired, your job is not to impress. Your job is to connect. Your job is to get the message across. That's it. You don't need fancy words. You don't need long sentences. You don't need to sound like a different person. You can sound like you. You can speak simply. You can pause. You can correct yourself once and then move on. You can be human. Try giving yourself permission to speak in shorter sentences when you're tired. Short sentences are not childish. Short sentences are powerful. Native speakers do it all the time, especially at work, especially when they're busy, especially when they want to be clear. I'll send it today. I'm not sure yet. Let me check. Can you repeat that? I didn't catch the last part. Those are real adult sentences, and when you use them, you're not showing weakness, you're showing clarity. Second, stop translating every sentence like it's your job. Translating word by word is one of the fastest ways to exhaust yourself. And it's like carrying groceries one grain of rice at a time. You want to grab the whole idea, not every single word. Instead of building sentences from the ground up, try to speak from chunks, simple chunks, the kind you can reuse. I feel like the main point is, what I mean is, from my perspective, in my experience, these give you a starting place so you're not standing at the edge of a blank page every time you speak. And if you can't find the exact word, say it a different way. This is not a failure. This is a real communication skill. Native speakers do it constantly. What's that word? It's like, it's the thing that we do this all the time. And then guess what happens in real life? People help you. They understand you. Or you understand each other anyway. The conversation survives. The world does not end. Your confidence grows because you learn, I can handle this. Third, breathe before you speak. I know that sounds almost too simple, but it matters. When you're tired and anxious, you tend to hold your breath. Your voice gets tight. Your thoughts get tight. And then everything feels harder. Give yourself a small pause, one breath. You don't have to rush just because the other person is waiting. Most people are not judging your pauses. They're just waiting for your meaning. And something else I want you to notice, many adult learners believe that confidence comes first, and then speaking becomes easier. But most of the time, it's the opposite. Speaking, even imperfectly, creates confidence. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to be willing. Willing to be understood, not perfect. Willing to sound like someone who is speaking a second language sometimes. Because you are, and that is normal, that is allowed. Let me also say this gently. If you've been pushing yourself hard and you're tired and you're feeling blocked, it might be time to stop treating every moment as practice. I know you want to improve and I know you want to speak more, but your brain also needs rest. There's a difference between healthy practice and constant pressure. Sometimes the most helpful thing you can do for your English is to have a day where you don't judge yourself. You listen. You notice. You let the language be around you without forcing yourself to perform. And if you're in a season of life where you're doing a lot in general, work, family, stress, big changes, then your English might feel a little less smooth for a while. That doesn't mean you're going backward. It means your energy is going somewhere else right now. And it will come back. Your English will be there and it's not fragile, it's in you. There's another piece here that's important. A lot of adults don't just feel tired. They feel lonely in English. Even if they're surrounded by people, they feel like they can't fully show their personality. They can't tell stories the same way. They can't be as quick or funny or deep. That kind of loneliness is exhausting too. It makes you hold back. It makes you careful. It makes you miss your real self. If that's you, I just want to say I see you and it's not forever. Your personality does come through little by little in small moments, in the way you react, in the words you choose, in your tone, in your kindness, in your humor that shows up when you feel safe. You don't have to force it. You build it by having real conversations, even small ones, even imperfect ones, and letting yourself be a little more you each time. So the next time you're struggling, I want you to try a different inner voice. Instead of, I'm terrible at English, try, I'm tired today. Instead of, I can't speak, try, I'm blocked right now, but I can still communicate. And instead of, they must think I'm not smart, try, I'm doing something hard in a second language. And that takes courage because your self-talk matters. The way you label the experience changes what your brain does next. If you label it as failure, your brain shuts down. If you label it as tiredness, your brain relaxes a little. And relaxation is where fluency lives. And if you make a mistake, let it be a normal mistake. Let it be quick. Let it be light. Correct it if you want and move on. Or don't correct it and move on. Most mistakes are not emergencies. Communication is surprisingly forgiving. People are not listening with a red pen. They're listening for meaning. They want to understand you. And the more you let conversations be normal, the more natural you will feel. I want to end with this image. And imagine your English like a cup of water. On some days, the cup is full, you sleep well, you feel calm, you feel confident, and words come easily. On other days, the cup is half full because life took a lot out of you. And if you try to pour the same amount from a half full cup, you panic. You think something is wrong with the cup, but nothing is wrong. It just needs refilling. Rest refills it. Kindness refills it. Lower pressure refills it. Small wins refill it. So today, if you're feeling stuck, be gentle with yourself. Speak a little slower. Use simpler words. Take one breath. Say the idea, not the perfect sentence. Trust that your English is still there. You're not bad at English. You're just tired and you deserve support, not criticism, especially from yourself.